Hello students, in your previous class or in your previous video lecture, you learned some of the features of your object-oriented programming as well as some of the basic concepts of the object-oriented programming, where you learn or you get some of the idea about your class, object and inheritance. There are some other concepts of your object-oriented programming apart from this class, object and inheritance. Okay. In inheritance, you learned that the parent-child relationship, okay, means in your family you acquire some of the properties from your mother and some from your father. Okay, so this is a parent-child relationship, and in inheritance there are different types of inheritance as also there, that is single inheritance and your hierarchical inheritance. Okay, so in inheritance there is a parent class and there is a child class, or that parent class is called as your super class and the child class is called as your uh, derived class. Okay, so derived class acquires some of the properties and behavior from the super class, that is your parent class. Okay, so the parent class और the super class क्या है ना, जहाँ से तुम properties and behavior को acquire कर रहे हो. Okay, that is your super class, and the main advantage of this inheritance is your reusability of the code. Means here you cannot write the same code or same of the properties of behavior again and again. You just derive in derived class में आप क्या करते हो, this derived class are extended from the parent class. Okay, so you extend from this parent class and you get those properties, those similar properties, and you also learn the class and concept of the class and the object. Means class which is a collection of the objects, means आपका क्लास बोलने से फ्रूट क्लास, एनिमल क्लास, आपका बर्ड क्लास और एनी व्हीकल क्लास ले सकते हो, फर्नीचर क्लास. Beside that there are some objects like your furniture class में आपका टेबल चेयर ये सब आ सकता है. आपको बर्ड क्लास में आपका जो भी बर्ड्स सब हैं, क्रो, पिकअप, ये सब. So they have some properties and they have some behaviors which belongs to this bird class, and the class are the logical entity. Okay, so in a class you can write many number of objects. Okay, the another concept, that is your object are the real world entities, and these real world entities are these entities having some attributes and behavior. Here your attributes are known as your, or the variables are known as your data member, and the behavior or the method is also known as your member function. Okay, so these are about your class and your objects. Okay, so same thing you have learned here, that concepts of object oriented programming about the objects, class and your inheritance. Okay, this is the concept of your object. Anything, whatever thing you see in your real world, so that is why this is called as your real world entities. And about the class, whether it is an animal class, bird class or furniture class, any branch, you have different branches are there, IT, etc, and your about electrical, okay, etc. And you also learned about the inheritance. So You learn about the data abstraction and encapsulation also. So now come to polymorphism. Polymorphism में आपका क्या होता है ना, this word comes from the Greek terms, that is poly means many and your morphism means form. So in one sense you can call it as many form, which means that the ability of a message to display in more than one form. Okay, like a human being have different characters, like you are a student and you have also different characteristics, whether you are studying well or dancing well, singing well, okay, or your recitation will be very good, is very good. Okay, so and another example is uh, and woman is a sister हो सकती है, एक मदर हो सकती है, एक डॉटर हो सकती है, ग्रैंड मदर हो सकती है. Okay, they are same person but possess different behavior in different situation, and this is called as your polymorphism. So in this object oriented programming concept you learn polymorphism means an operation may exhibit different behavior in the different instances and the behavior depends upon the types of data used in the operation. means अगर हम बोले कि like your addition, so addition में हम लोग suppose एक function लेते हैं addition function, but अगर मैं two variables को addition करूँ तो that is also gives me different result. अगर मैं three variables का addition करूँ, this will operate in different way. Okay, so these are one function, that is addition function, but behaves differently in different situation. जैसे मैं addition, अगर मैं numerical addition करूँ, so they will give me some another result by adding this 2 plus 5 means it will give me 7, but if I add two strings, then it will join, it will merge these two strings. Okay, so that same add function can act differently in different situation. That is the whole concept about your polymorphism. Okay, so we can do polymorphism in Java by method overriding and method overloading. Okay, this is one chapter in your syllabus while you are doing the Java programming. Okay, so we can do polymorphism in Java by method overriding and method overloading. Okay, this is one chapter in your syllabus while you are doing the Java programming. Okay, so binding refers to the linking of the procedural call to the code to be executed in response to the call. That is meant by your binding. Okay, so there are two types of bindings are there, that is one is your compile time binding and the another one is your runtime binding. Okay, so compile time binding is also called as your static binding and your runtime binding is also called as your dynamic binding. So dynamic binding में आपका क्या होता है ना, the code is to be executed in response to the function call at the time of runtime. Okay, so this is the basic concept about the dynamic binding. Okay. Another concept is your message passing. या message passing में क्या होता है, a set of objects communicate with each other. For that, the process of programming in object oriented language therefore involves the following basic steps. Okay, that is your creating classes that defines the object and their behavior, then creating objects from the class definition and establishing communication among the object. So ये जो object आपको create होता है within that a class. So you can create number of objects in a class. and these objects are communicate with each other, and they send the message by sending and receiving information which are much same. And a message of an object is a request for execution of a procedure, and therefore it will involve a function in the receiving object that generated the designed object can be created and destroyed. Okay, so as a result it involves the name of the object and the name of the function and information to be sent.